Welcome to Her Imprint, part of the Impressions Exchange. I'm Denise Gustafson, your host. This podcast celebrates the remarkable women who are transforming the printing industry. We'll explore their journeys, from challenges to triumphs, and share the stories that leave a lasting imprint. Today I have with me Pam Athan. She's the account executive for print and marketing with Universal Printing. So Pam, welcome.
Hi, nice to see you.
It's good to
Denise,
see
thank
you.
you for inviting me.
I am so happy that you're here with us. I'm looking forward to our conversation. So to get us started, would you tell us a little bit about Universal Printing?
Sure. Universal Printing is located in Durham, North Carolina, and it's a commercial printing. It's a family-owned business. It's been in business about 40 years. It started in 1979, and it was all little copy shops, and then they made it into one big plan. We do everything from your brochures, business cards, pocket folders, to very complex clinical trials. We do a lot of clinical trials. We have e-commerce where you can build a storefront. We have companies that have storefronts. They can inventory all their items and order and ship all around the world. And we do all fulfillment. So we'll do kitting and storage. We'll store items, even medical devices we store. We're a one-stop shop. We have large format. We do swag, anything that brings out your brand.
You can put ink on just about everything.
Yeah, we do just about everything. And if we don't do it in-house, we do have vendor partners that we work with. So we always have somebody. If you don't know where to turn, we can always help you. But yeah, we work with a lot of the universities, the hospitals. We sponsor events in the community, and we're very, very well aware of everything going on in the community. And we love the Durham Triangle area, the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill.
Awesome.
So,
Keeps you guys busy, that's for sure.
yes.
I'm going to be curious about one thing. So you said you do clinical trials. Is that like all the paperwork and everything that go with a drug trial, or is that with your
Exactly.
print? Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, we do a lot of the drug trials, and we do all the kitting, whatever they need for any kind of drug trials. A lot of them go on for 3 to 4 years, and then they order online from their storefront, and then they ship it to wherever they want. And we just keep a running inventory. There's constantly revisions, and
Mhm.
we keep track of all of that for them so that they don't have to go through the process of remembering what did we do? What was the first version? We have everything digitally, and the inventory they can order.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So I'm not as familiar with the Raleigh-Durham area. I'm guessing there's a lot of medical facilities and things there, which is why it's perfect for what you guys are doing.
Yeah, they have the big Duke University.
Okay.
They have UNC, which is a big medical school, and they have the UNC Rex hospitals, and even NC State has some healthcare.
Okay.
So it is a big healthcare area around here.
I never thought of it that way, but that's cool. And it's perfect for printing because there's so much printing that goes on with medical facilities and, like I said, all the drug trials and all the things that kind of go hand in hand with that.
Yes.
So how did you get started in printing? I'm guessing you didn't just wake up one morning and say, I am going to be in printing. This is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life.
No, believe it or not, my journey started when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
So I was in high school, and we had printing. We had a printing class, and it was offered as an elective. And since I was always involved in art, I loved art. So I was always taking art. I had no idea there was printing, but one of the projects that we had to do was create our own company, and then we had to print business cards, flyers, and we used the print shop to do it
In the school.
in the school. So we created our own art. We created the art, and back then, not to age myself, but when we did it, it was all, you would draw it, and then you would take a camera. They had a camera, and
Yeah.
then you would print it. You would do negatives. You would strip the negatives, make plates, put it on the press, and you did everything yourself. The teacher would help, but we were running our own I made memo pads, I made business cards, And I wind up actually speaking with the teacher, the printing teacher, Mr. Piven. He was probably one of the biggest influences on my career, was my high school printing teacher. He was he was my mentor. He didn't teach from a textbook. He was actively producing print work for local businesses. So we had a whole little
Cool.
business, and he would use the students in the class to do it. And that's how I got started. Every time I had a free period, I'd go to Mr. Piven's class and I'd help him. He also got me a job when I was working with him. One of his old students opened a print shop and needed help. So he got me the job there. So I was going
Hey.
there after work. And I learned everything from stripping negative, making plate. It gave me a strong foundation. It showed me how many different skills are involved in the printing industry. I actually would start the presses for them sometimes if they would be like, here, put the plate on, do this. And then from there, I continued earning my degree. I went to Farmingdale College for
Mhm.
my graphic arts and advertising design. And then I went to RIT, Rochester Institute of
Yeah,
Technology, where I earned my bachelor's degree in printing management and sciences.
that's awesome.
Yes. And then once I got back from college, I still actually talk to the people that I worked in their print shop, their mom and pop shop. It was actually a company that's gotten really huge. It's actually India Park. They tripled the size and now his kids are running it.
Okay. What company? I have to ask.
It's all color offset. I
Okay.
don't know
Yeah,
if it's
I
in.
do.
Yeah, it's pretty big. They just bought a plant in Pennsylvania. We still keep in touch because I was always interested in printing and he was always doing something. So I was always like looking on, and he was a really good Billy. He was a really good mentor too. He taught me a lot. And then I worked in the city for 2 years. I worked at a big printing company. It wasn't big, it was a third party. We actually did all the labels for Snuggle, Whisk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I got into the production of that, and then I started doing QC, and I would go to New Jersey, and I went to Baltimore to the bottling plant. I saw how the labels are molded on the bottles. And then from there, I got a job at Long Island for labels and cologne boxes. It's New York Label and Box Works. I worked there for 13 years. And then yeah, and in the midst, I was in the sales department. So I was always customer service, but then I was always quality control. I'd go to the plants and at some of the plants, one of our customers was a big cosmetic company. And I would go there and I would look at the labels going on being blown on the products. So if they had any trouble, I would go there. But they used to give me a voucher and I would go in the store, the retail store. It
Mhm.
was on the facility property and I'd be able to buy all cosmetics. Oh, God. So yeah, I always loved it. It
Yeah.
was always an adventure to me.
That is awesome that,
Yeah.
how it can start. I have to say, I am very jealous of your high school.
Yes.
I went to Deer Park High School, so no, I was just down the road from you. We had a tech class, and actually it was in the junior high technically, where you had to take technology, and as part of it, I learned how to set type.
Yes. We were setting.
So set type backward, reading it backwards, upside down, the whole 9 yards, and we would do those memo books and the things. But they had us doing engraving. They also taught us how to use it was also shop, so how to do
Yeah.
woodworking. So it was kinda like an all-in-one kind of thing that you had to
Hmm.
do. But of course, then I went into journalism, so I did all of the journalism stuff, but we would actually go to Merlin Printing in Farmingdale.
Yes. Merlin. I know exactly where that was.
So
That was
that
right.
was who printed our high school
Oh,
newspaper. So we would do a field trip there every time we were doing an issue, and we would actually work with the glue, with the wax, and we would do all the paste up for them. And we learned how to do that right at Merlin. So it's so cool. Our worlds are colliding a little bit. But I have to say, I would have loved to have been able to learn more like you did, really the ins and outs of the technology. I just got a little taste of it from our high school.
mhm.
It's really cool to be able to do that, and for you, yes, you were in the arts. I loved the art side of things too.
Yes.
Painting, I did all of that too. Stained glass, whatever I could get my hands on, I did. But I think that's a missed opportunity for a lot of people that are creative, that don't have the ability to get their hands on printing technologies.
Yeah, and he did everything. He did shirts. So we worked with screen. He didn't have a big screen printing machine. It was like you hold the frame and then you
Yep.
was like a one hand thing, but you could do two colors. We could register to do the white first and then the black or and then we had two little printing presses that we would use. And then we set type. Yep, he had a whole little typography studio and he had cameras. He had a dark room where you shut the light, you had the red light. And the same with the printing company when I was 16, I was doing all the plate making where you turn
Yeah.
the thing over and then when I went to RIT, it was unbelievable the amount of printing that I was exposed to. They had everything from the gravure and flexo. I worked in the flexo lab and we had a big Goss newspaper press
Oh,
that I
cool.
worked. Yeah.
What was your favorite when you were at RIT?
I really liked the pre-press part of it, the scanning of do you remember the big scanners and
Oh, yeah.
so I really liked that portion of it. Believe it or not, that left when I graduated, that started changing over. But I loved the pre-press. I loved it. I loved how they did the negatives and making the plates and I used to love all of that. And then I worked in Flexo for a long time. I worked in gravure in New York City. We did gravure. We didn't do it at our plant because I worked for just a printing company that didn't have presses, but we would get gravure because those detergent labels they were all printed gravure.
Yeah.
So I was used to gravure. I was used to offset because we did have offset presses that did work. And it was just I don't know, I liked everything. I loved going on press runs. I used to go and approve press runs and make sure the color was correct. And then I used to go to New Jersey. I'd take a car from New York City and I'd go to New Jersey and I'd approve the die cutting where they were actually die cutting the labels. And I'd stay there and watch that. And if the plants had problems, I would always be going somewhere. I'd take the train to Baltimore or I'd go to Philadelphia or wherever they were if they were having problems and I'd go and I'd try to help resolve it. And a lot of times when I first started, I wasn't really sure how to do anything. But after a while, I was getting so used to everything I was learning. And I think that's one of the things that really helped me out because even on these jobs, you get problems every day. And I don't really get upset anymore. I remember there were times when I was dealing with something and I was like, oh, how do I always had a very good person that I would go to. Even at my New York City company, there was this guy, Nat, and he was like really experienced. If I had a problem, I would call him. So I always had people supporting me that knew they always gave me respect because they would know that I knew a lot of the system. So I didn't really have any biases.
Which is great.
Yeah, because I guess I was so young and I was just learning, and they were so happy that I was learning.
That's a big thing, I think, with print people. If you show interest, they literally just want to gather you in their arms. Let me teach you everything. Let me teach you all the
Yeah.
things. At that point, they're just so happy and so excited that somebody is just as excited to learn that they were. They just want to share their knowledge, share their love for the craft.
Yeah, and I think they were also happy too that I was so interested in going because they were like, "Oh, good, I don't feel like going." They let me go and then call, "If you have any problems, just call us." So I would go there and I wind up everybody was so nice. Believe me, I have gotten yelled at, but basically I learned how to talk myself out of any madness that they were feeling, just knowing that we'll resolve it, we'll get it. When they have a line down or they have something, you gotta get there and you gotta
At that point, you're the advocate for your client. You're the one that you're going to make sure that their product is looking as best it can be. It's not like they're there. You're there as the representative. So it's in some ways, it's all on you to make
Yeah, I
sure that it's
still
right.
run there. If they have a problem and something's going on, I'll still run to the client. I do it many times. I'm like, all right, I'll be right. I'll come to see. I just have this habit of just running out to people now if they're having a problem. So I feel like people like that because they can rely on you coming out and that they know you're going to resolve it in somehow or another.
Yeah, definitely. And It's real. They know you have it. There's so much to be said about showing up for things like this. It's important to them, and you're showing that it's important to you as well. Like I said, you're the spokesperson and the representative for the client in the print shop at that point.
Printing United Expo is where the entire printing industry unites under one roof. Explore cutting edge technology from over 800 exhibitors, see live product demonstrations, and discover solutions that can transform your business. With exclusive education sessions, expert insights, and endless networking opportunities, this is the must attend event for anyone in print. No matter your role, Printing United Expo delivers the innovation, connections, and knowledge to help you stay ahead. Join us this September 23rd to the 25th in Las Vegas. Learn more at printingunited.com and experience the future of print today.
So, what has motivated you to really continue to grow in print? What keeps you excited? Is it the client interaction? Is it still being able to go on press and keep your eyes on the stuff that you're doing? Is there anything in particular that really keeps you energized?
Yeah, I think what has kept me motivated throughout my career is that no 2 days are ever the same. Every client, every project, every challenge is different. So there's always something to learn. And I enjoy creativity. I enjoy the creativity. I love the problem solving. And I think it's satisfying to see an idea go from concept to the finished product. And then I like building relationships with clients. I like learning about their business, understanding what they need, or trying to help them find the best solutions for certain things. We have our ePrint system. It's our own. We have a IT guy that created it, and it's for when they order off the web. They
Okay.
have a storefront, and then they'll order their products, and then we keep their products on there, and they'll say, "Oh, I want to see the tracking. I need a report." We'll custom make reports of what they want to see based on their inventory of items that they're keeping. If they want it to go down to a minimum, like once it reaches a minimum of 25, it'll notify them that they have to order more. We'll get notifications. Some of the studies, but also some of the universities that we have and some of the banks, they want certain things on reports monthly that they want to pull. They want to know how many items that they have. They want to know what sites pulled them, where did they go, and they want to keep it running. We can track all of that. And it's only because a lot of them will think you can't do it. But when you get in and you say, "How's it going for you?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I wish you could do." And then I'll be like, "Yes, we can do it. Tell me what you want." And it does take a while to get them on the same page, but we'll have a demo, we'll show them what it can do, and then we'll fix it. We'll customize it and personalize it to what they want. And the only reason why we can do that is because we have the IT person that
Mhm.
created system. They created that program a lot of times. And then another customer will ask, and he's like, "Oh, we did it for this customer. Just show them that website, how we did it, and we could do it for them." So
Mhm.
yeah, it just there's so many things, and now with all the different technology, even the presses have changed so much.
Yep. Things have changed. You went from gravure to offset. I'm sure you guys are running digital printers now, which is different. Are you still running offset too?
We do. We have 2 offset presses, and then we have 3 digital high-speed digital printers. So we do keep offset for our larger quantities, digital for the smaller quantities.
What was it like when they first put digital in? What was it like for you to even sell it? Was it a different sale for you? Did you have to approach it differently?
Yeah, I think they actually in the beginning, it was really never really hard to sell because we could get the short runs. With the press, you always had a minimum. It's a minimum of 250, it's a minimum of 500. With the digital press, it was like, "Oh, if you want 25, we can run 25."
We can run one if you need one, you know?
Exactly. And the only thing is, it's a lot, once you get to a certain point, it's better off going on press to us. It gets expensive if you have high quantities, but the low quantities and the digital presses now, you can show them a proof of exactly what they're going to get, the final product. So a lot of people love that
Yeah.
about the digital, where the offset was still given the color proofs on the photographic paper. We call it a high res Oris. The color is fabulous, but it's nothing like the digital where you're holding the proof and that's what you're going to get as your final
Yeah.
product.
This is it. We're printing on the same paper that you're going to.
Exactly.
Everything is the same. It's I know with a lot of shops too, they're running a lot. A client might still have 5,000, but it's 5,100 here, 150 here, 25 here. It's
Yes.
a lot of small jobs, which make up a long run instead of that just a long run where they're doing the shells and then doing something else later.
And that's what we do too. We'll do shells and then we'll run it for the variable. If they're doing variable letterheads or whatever, we'll run shells, or even business cards, we'll run shells. And then we'll do the variable in the digital printers. And that works a lot, even with the direct mail.
Yeah. Does the technology really still excite you?
Yeah, I really love it. We just got new digital printers, and if I tell you the color is absolutely fabulous. And we're a Graco Master 7, so
Mhm.
we have it calibrated to our presses and we can keep the color. Yeah, it still excites me when I see the color. Sometimes we can't really do metallics on a color printer. The high-speed laser printers, they do not do metallics. But they'll do a gold color, and I'll tell you, we did some brochures and they had the color, it was like a gold, and I said, "We're not gonna be metallic." But the way they came out was really nice. The client was, like, really excited about it. It wasn't a metallic, it was almost like a yellowy gold, but just the way it came out, it wasn't like a yellow.
Yeah.
It was
And it
almost
wasn't
like
like mustard yellow. It
it
was,
it
yeah.
was like, yeah, and you remember with the old digital, you would get that mustard and you'd be
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, this is as close as we can get." But yeah, they came out really nice. And
And probably in the old days, you would have to, if they really wanted gold, you'd have to probably lay on a foil or something
a
else.
gold foil, or yeah, we'd have to emboss it. We still do embossing and gold foil stamping. We'll
Mhm.
still do stamping, and but it's not as popular as it
Yeah.
was before.
I know now there's a lot more leaning toward those embellishments. Like, how can we make this really stand out more to
Yes, vibrant.
customers? Yeah. Whether it's a gold foil, whether it's some kind of fluorescent inks, or, they're adding all those other channels now for a lot of inks too you could do so much more. It's kind of
Yeah.
amazing.
And a lot of times, like during COVID, a lot of that disappeared. We couldn't get really good stocks. Some of the linens, they're mill items. You had to order such a huge quantity. And there's so many stocks that they stopped making during COVID. But now, little by little, I really feel like they're not coming back with a ton, but they are offering a little bit more. We are seeing some of the stocks. So I really feel like some people are really coming back to print that weren't, or that thought they were going to go all digital, which I think having a social media presence is definitely needed. And you definitely need to have a social media presence, and you definitely need to be in all the different types of electronical programs. But I do think that printing is definitely, people love it in their hands. I still see people that would rather have the book than the
Mhm.
digital versions. And even though the digital versions are available, there are still a lot of people that would rather have a book. Yeah. And I think it's still, if some touching your brochure or your flyer, I feel like they're going to remember it more than just seeing it online, especially when everybody's getting so many emails now.
Yeah, there's so much digital noise that we're all
Exactly.
dealing with, right? Emails, text
Yeah.
messages. I don't know how many spam text messages I'm now getting, how many spam emails I get. It's so much that I ignore most of it. But when something really cool comes to my house, it's such a different experience. And I think there's a kind of like a trend that I'm seeing too, is like almost a nostalgia for slower times, of taking your time with things, of actually experiencing some of those things. And I think that's where print plays a really important role
Yeah.
for some of the younger generations that grew up on their phones, that are now experiencing print and all the really cool things that print can do for the first time.
Yeah. I see it too. I see it in a lot of things because some of the people, they're like, yeah, let me get this printed. I have it on social media, but I know I'm going to need some print copies. We just did a whole thing of a book for a client, and they kept telling me every year we do it. And they're like, all right, I think it might go digital next year. I think it might get digital, but they keep ordering it because they're like, oh, there's still people that want the hard copy. I'm a hard copy person.
Hmm.
I like to have the book. I'm one of
Yeah.
those people. But when I write things down still, I'm always writing things down and keeping track of stuff. Even though I have my notes and my stuff online, I still feel myself. I'm always writing it so I know. It
Yeah.
just helps me to keep it better.
I swear I keep 3M Post-it notes in business, let me tell you.
Yes. Yeah, I still write everything down and it's just the way I learned. So I don't know, but the new generations are all with the digital, but I think they like the print too. I think some
Mhm.
of them, I think they do. And I know the direct mail, there's still a return on investment of the direct mail because we do a lot of mailings and people get really happy. They'll tell me it was successful that
They're
they
getting
did
the
so.
results.
Yeah, they're getting results and we'll make their postcard or whatever they want. And you're right, with the vibrancy and the colors now, with all the full color process and everything, like those copiers, you used to have to do black. If you couldn't afford CMYK, you would just have to do a black postcard. They're doing all kinds of colors and really looks good.
Yeah, it's amazing what can now be done, honestly. I do have a question for you about mentorship. Now, you said that your high school teacher was really a really strong mentor to you. And
Yes.
obviously, it's been a year or two since you've been there. Have you had other mentors to help you along the way? And why were they so important to you?
I feel like I did have a lot of mentors because I had a lot of people that would tell me what to do. I don't know if it's mentors or just telling me what to do, but my print teacher was fabulous because he was the one that introduced me to RIT too, because he told me if you really like printing, you should go to RIT. It's the best printing school in the country, he used to
Mhm.
tell me. And he would talk about RIT. And I really felt, yeah, I was in art and I was doing really well in art. But when I got into his class, when there was a group of people, there were a group of students that he would help. But yeah, I feel like I always had a mentor and then I always try to be a mentor now. I have a account manager that works with me and she graduated from in Wilmington and she is excellent. She graduated in communications and I teach her everything. She knows so much about printing now and she really likes it and she does a great job. But always, whenever I have people that care or that I see that are interested, I always help them with printing and I always like it. I think I used to do training too when I was at my old company in quality control and I used to do the training. We did the Edwards W. Deming. He
Mhm.
was the guy that went to Japan and got all the systems working. And I used to do training. His training I used to do at my old print company and it just stayed with me. I really like training and teaching and I never went into teaching, but I always liked it.
But
So,
you definitely got the print bug, though. For those people that were willing to teach you because you were interested in print, now
yeah.
you're returning the favor.
Yeah, and I always even trying to teach the client, letting them know what we're looking at. This is what we're looking at. This is how much we could do. Even trying to let them know what they're getting so that
Mhm.
they understand it. And then they come back. People will say, Pam, I've never set up a calendar before. I'll get an art design. I've never set up a calendar before. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. And then I'll leave them and tell them. And then they can send it to me. I'll check it. I'll let them. So I try to be informative and knowledgeable to people so that they
Mhm.
can come back to me and say, hey, a lot of times people they'll be like, I remember you showed me this.
Yeah, they appreciate that. They appreciate
Yeah.
you taking the time because then they know it's not just a transaction for you.
And this
It's
way they know what they're
yeah.
getting. I'm not giving them any surprises. If I say we can't really do this, but we can do this, or maybe if you want to spend less money, a lot of times I'll work with people in their budgets because
Mhm.
a lot of people, like with the state, with the NC, all this dose stuff, people got so many budgets. The colleges have tons of budgets and they'll be like, what can I get
For this.
for this amount? I have to have at least this quantity. What do you suggest? I love doing that because I will tell them exactly what they can get and I'll figure it out for them. And then they'll say, all right, do I have more money so I can get this or whatever? They always come back with more. But yeah, I try to make it work. I try to work within budgets, educate them on what they're getting. Maybe you can't get the 130-pound cover, but you could get the 110 or the 120
Yeah.
or
And that's
something
gonna
like that.
save you the money so you can do this. And it's not really gonna lose that much in quality or look and feel or
Yeah, and
you
I could do that because we keep a lot of stocks in house. We have a whole big, usually with the stock companies, you got to order a certain amount, or we have a certain amount in house that we can use. So I have a whole array of stocks that we have on hand
yeah.
that they can use.
That gives you a lot of flexibility. It gives you a lot of ways that you can help your client. You're a partner to them. You're working with them in their project instead of just somebody that they're coming to you're not a clerk. By that point, you're a partner with them.
Yeah, and some people know exactly what they want. They'll tell me, a lot of people, they'll give me an RFQ or everything is down. So I love those. But yeah, but if they need help, I love doing that too. I like helping them to see the big picture and to see their logo and their brand just make an impact.
So as we're wrapping up, my
Okay.
favorite question, and I know you're a listener of the podcast, so you know what
Yes,
my favorite question is going to be.
I do.
So if you were just starting today and knowing what you know through all your years in printing, what advice would you give yourself if you were just starting out?
Maybe be a bit more visual, have confidence. I was always listening to people. I didn't always think I had the confidence to do things. But nowadays, when I go somewhere, I do have confidence. I can talk to people about printing and not to be so timid and to jump in, just take the wheel. And for so long, I was always QC or project manager. Or I finally decided I want to be in sales. I want to go forward. So I wish I would have made the move a lot when I was younger too. And you have to be bold and you have to ask for what you want. If you go to clients and you want sales, you got to be bold and you got to network, go to events. I do a lot of that now. And you just have to believe in yourself and know that you can do it. And there's so many people supporting, they want you to succeed. People that you work for, everybody that you work for, they want more sales. When I get a sale, they're so happy to do it. And especially when a customer says thank you, when they say thank you, and then I tell all the production people, I'll send an email and say, hey, this client thought we did a great job. Thank you guys for all your help. Just decide what you want to do, whether it's design. And back then, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was always in between. But I think now I wind up being in sales. So I think I wish I was kind of not trying to prove myself, but just trying to enjoy my career and knowing where I was going. I didn't really plan. I wish I would have done a little bit more planning.
Hindsight's always great for that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then you
Unfortunately,
always say, I wish I would have. But you know what? I might not have been where I was if it didn't happen the way it did.
knowledge that you got for all the jobs that you worked
Yeah,
on, all the QC you were doing, all the plant and the trips to the plants, all of that you learned brought you to where you are now.
yeah. I had flexibility. A lot of times they knew I worked so hard that if I had to take off for some reason or if I had to go because I had kids and stuff, they'd be so flexible. They'd be like, all right, come in after you put the kids on the bus. Back then, I was like running to the office constantly, and they'd be like, all right, get the kids on the bus and come in right after, and we'll start the meeting when you get here. Like, yeah, so I definitely lucked out. I had good companies that were pretty flexible. And yeah, and I think just be a team player, and
Be willing to learn, be a team player.
Yeah. Be willing to learn and don't get mad and upset. Try to stay calm. I know things are going on and things are happening. It's so fast paced. You've got deadlines, you're running, you're shuffling all different things, and you just got to stay cool.
That's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Pam, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure to chat with you and to learn a little bit from a
Yeah.
former Long Islander just like myself. So it was awesome to be able to chat with you. So thank you again.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on this journey to celebrate and amplify the voices of women in the printing industry. If you have a story to share or know someone whose journey deserves to be highlighted, we'd love to hear from you. Together, let's continue inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders. Until next time, keep leaving your imprint. This is Her Imprint. See you soon.